year. My parents would pull out the Sears Roebuck catalog. I've never figured out where it lived before then, it just seemed to appear. And when that blessed moment arrived, my brothers and I would spend hours poring over its contents, studying every page, and reading about all the amazing things that could become ours come Christmas. We would make lists. Oh, the lists. They would consist of roughly half the toys in the catalog. Each successive toy promised hours of entertainment, and better yet, was sure to make the lucky owner the envy of the neighborhood. It was so hard to choose, and so our lists grew and grew, and we would wait with bated breath for Christmas. When baby Jesus finally arrived, so would our presents. They would provide a fun diversion for a time, but they seldom lived up to their own hype or our expectations. And eventually the pieces would be scattered around the house or shoved in the back of the closet, forgotten. I'm not sure why, but invariably the presents our friends received always seemed to be cooler than ours. And when our birthdays rolled around, that is what we would ask for, whatever our friends and neighbors had. It starts early, this keeping up with the Joneses. It usually starts with toys, then clothes, then gadgets. As we grow, our tastes get more sophisticated, and we start envying bigger and better stuff. Cars and houses and vacations. If someone else has it, we can envy it. We are that good. Which isn't good. This morning we hear about the elders of Israel envying the neighbor's kings. They whine to Samuel, demanding their own king. Everyone else has one, and we want one too. Samuel and God think this is a bad idea. Since the escape from Pharaoh and slavery in Egypt, God has been the only ruler they've had. Sure, there have been judges and prophets, but they were attuned to the will of God, and God was clearly the one in charge. Now the elders of Israel want to change all that. They want to be like everybody else. They say to Samuel, "We are determined to have a king over us." Determined. So that we also may be like other nations, and that our king may govern us, and go out before us, and fight our battles. You see, the Philistines have been encroaching on their territory. It's an increasing problem, and the people are scared. Instead of trusting in the Lord, like the generations before them, they want what the other nations have, a king. A king would make them feel safe. A king would sort out all the issues and show them the way and fight their battles for them. We all want a champion, someone to fight our battles for us. I get it. The problem is that wanting a king is going backwards, and not in a good way of returning to their roots. First, it's akin to a return to slavery. Samuel tries to make the consequences plain, but they are not swayed by the realities of supporting a ruling and courtesan class. The second problem is idolatry. They seek the illusion of security offered by the ways of the nations instead of trusting in God. Third, it's a failure of the imagination. These people are seeking dependence on a king, but they were created for so much more. They are glorious in God's image and likeness, but they can't see it. The people want what they want, and what they want is a king. So God tells Samuel to give them one. Now, lest we feel superior because we have a democracy and not a king, let's remember that the people of Israel were not all that different from us. When they demanded a king, they were following the crowd, the nations, and placing their trust in something besides God. We do that too sometimes. In due course, the kings lost sight of their purpose. They lost sight of the wonder and praise expressed in Psalm 138, which extols God's faithfulness and how all the kings of the earth will praise him. They forget how they came to be kings in the first place, appointed leaders of the nation, and a sacred charge to them as shepherds of God's people. They thought they were in charge, that all that they had been given to them was theirs, and not given in trust for the good of God's people. We fall into that trap too sometimes, forgetting the source and purpose of all that we have. Worst of all, in the darkness of fear and Philistines, they lost sight of who they were. The children of Israel, the people of God, created in God's fearsome and awesome likeness. In times of struggle and stress, we forget too. Friends, we share a meal each week to remember who we are. During the Easter season, we remember that light which the darkness could not overcome. And we see the image of God shining, reflected in the faces of others in the candlelight at the great vigil. These are the things we have been given to help us stay centered on God, to renew our inner nature, and to help us steer clear of the traps of misplaced trust, of entitled ownership, and amnesia as to our identity as the beloved of God. There's a poem by Anne Weems that I love. It's titled Holy Communion, and it goes like this. Eat, drink, remember who I am. Eat, drink, remember who I am, so that you can remember who you are. Eat, drink, remember who I am, so you can remember who you are and tell others. Eat, drink, remember who I am, so that you can remember who you are and tell others, so that all God's people can live in communion, in holy communion. My sisters and brothers, may the holy meal that we share this day, that we share each week, nourish us. As we come to the rail, may we put aside our worries, our envies, and our striving, and place our trust in God, for God is trustworthy and true. As we take the bread in our hands, may we remember who we are and whose we are. As the wine touches our lips, may our deepest thirsts be quenched. And as we leave this table of mercy and grace, may these precious gifts tune our hearts and minds to those things which we cannot see, those things which are eternal. And rejoicing in the great richness showered upon us, may we go forth from this place to share all those good things for the good